Education under the United Republic of Cameroon, 1972 to 1984. The history of Cameroon is important in understanding the evolution of education system in Cameroon. Cameroon was colonized by the Germans and after the First World War became a trustee for the League of Nations under the rule of British and French government. This led to a dual system of education that exists till present. There are 10 administrative regions, 2 of which are English-speaking and 8 French-speaking. In 1884, Germany colonized Cameroon through the signing of the Germano-Douala Treaty, whereby Cameroon became a German protectorate, marked this event. But with the defeat of Germany in 1916 during the First World War, Cameroon was divided between Britain and France and administered first under the League of Nations mandate and later under the United Nations trusteeship. The educational system under the federal system had its own dynamics, which evolved as time went on, as amendments were done in the period of the United Republic, where East and West Cameroon came together as one through a referendum of 20th May 1972, which changed the name of the country from Federal Republic of Cameroon to the United Republic of Cameroon, a move towards unity. The system of education was highly centralized, though with some elements of decentralization, through the establishment of provincial authorities for the purpose of consultation, coordination, and delegation. The 5-year development plans. The Unitary States Constitution of 1972 provided for education in its preamble as the state ensures the right of the child to education. The organization and control of education at all levels are the burden duty of the state. The third 5-year development plan, 1971 to 1976, echoed as overall objective the adaptation of the educational system to national needs. This plan engineered the direction of educational efforts during this period towards the training of middle and senior executive personnel required by the economy. Efforts were directed to the training of dynamic and progressive-minded labor force. There was continued increasing pressure on the realization of primary and post-primary education, vocational training, technical education, and the training of qualified teachers and instructors. The realization of education, according to the 23rd Conference in International de l'Education, 1973 to 1957, was within the framework of the Rural Institute of Applied Pedagogy (IPA) in Yaoundé and Buea, which had to work in collaboration with the National Center of Education, CNE. The CNE was conceived as an instrument of reflection, research, and coordination of all forms, levels, and types of education. Educational administrative structure. The educational administration had a unique structure during the United Republic of Cameroon, which will be elaborated from the Minister of National Education, right down to the provincial delegation for education. It runs from the Minister of National Education to the Vice Minister of National Education, the Secretary of National Education, the Inspector General of Pedagogy, departments or directors, which were subdivided into the General Administration, Higher Education, Secondary Education, Technical and Professional Education, Primary and Nursery Education, Examination, Private Education, and Provincial Delegation for Education. Sub-Director. The United Republic of Cameroon Educational Administrative Structure Decree number 72/38 of 7 August 1973 initiated the first true Ministry of National Education with subsequent organization as seen above. A political organization of February 1984 created a separate Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research out of the above Department of Higher Education, to which was added other departments. Functionally, the system was highly centralized, though with some elements of decentralization through the establishment of provincial authorities for the purpose of consultation, coordination, and delegation of authority. Provincial Administration of Education. With increased responsibility of the Ministry of National Education, there was a reorganization by Decree number 74/406 of April 1974. Article 1 and 2 of this decree provided for the same service, except for the fact that the Independent Inspector General of Pedagogy was replaced by the creation of an Inspectorate General of Pedagogy located under the Secretary General. The Ministry of National Education had its headquarters in Yaoundé. The application of these policies was controlled by the Delegate of Education, consists of administrative staff and departmental advisors and inspectors in each discipline, supported by a number of divisional inspectors. The above authorities ensured the applicability of pedagogic counseling and advice, including school health, orientation service, primary school examinations, and scholarships for studies elsewhere. Educational finance. Since 1965, the government's capital expenditure in education averaged 20%, is an indication that the government is concerned over education. Though the government still finds it difficult to safeguard expenditure and attempt to improve general quality education in Cameroon. Like most third world countries, Cameroon depended on a lot during this time from foreign aid for the achievement of its educational objectives. The most important source was the International Bank of Reconstruction and Development Funds, IBRD, and United National Development Fund, UNDP, was facilitated through bilateral agreements only with the view of enhancing quality education. Organization of the school system. During this period, 1972 to 1984, the academic year in Cameroon started in September and ended in June, except in the north from July to September for climate reasons. Unification did not alter the educational system that existed under the Federal Republic, nor the two official languages. The English-speaking province, that is, the former West Cameroon, had a pattern of education similar to the British system, while the French-speaking provinces, which is the former East Cameroon, had much with the French system. However, due to these differences, the government's main aim of education organization was harmonization and integration of the two systems. Curriculum. The curriculum organization was a joint responsibility of Royal Institute of Applied Pedagogy, IPA, in Buea and the National Center for Education, CNE, in Yaoundé. The former was concerned with primary school programs where research was undertaken to revise the curriculum without rural bias. For example, instead of traditional separate subject approach where we had general knowledge, English, French, religious studies, arithmetic, there were anticipated orientations to a more integrated approach under the following groupings: language environmental studies, mathematics, and villages technology. The CNE was in charge with reforms at secondary school levels where it was concerned with drawing up new syllabuses for the Cameroon General Certificate of Education, GCE examination. In effect, the London GCE was eventually Cameroonized in the 1976 to 1977 academic year through much of the supervision was and setting of examinations were still controlled from London. The main examination syllabus, GCE ordinary and advanced level for English speaking and brevet for the French speaking, still comprise the following: mathematics, French, biology, physics, chemistry, economics, physical education, manual arts, domestic science, and commerce. The baccalaureate, which was equivalent to the GCE advanced level in French-speaking zone, offered the following options: Series A, Philosophy and Letters; Series B, Economics and Social Sciences; Series C, Mathematics and Physical Science; Series D, Mathematics and Social Science; Series E, Mathematics and Technology. Nursery education. In the English-speaking Cameroon, this level of education gained a lot of development with a greater enrollment rate in the Southwest province. This was largely provided by private agencies and therefore fee charging, allowing mostly children from privileged background to take advantage of it. The courses was usually 2 years for infants of age range of 3 to 5, and the medium of instruction was English. Most parents regarded the school as an early opportunity for their children to acquire basic elementary skills in numeracy and literacy. Pupils of each school were supervised and trained by primary school trained teachers with the skills of nursery education. In the French-speaking provinces, nursery education had already become a normal feature. Most of the schools were created by the government and consist 2 classes: the lower class for children aged 4 to 5 years and the higher class for those aged 5 to 6 years. They were all fee charging, and the amount was set by the government, while the private ones paid slightly higher. The notion of nursery school in the French-speaking provinces was well understood, as there was highly emphasis on formal education, but a preparation for it. Primary education. Primary education in English-speaking Cameroon were operated through the joint efforts of the state and private agencies. However, private primary schools outnumbered state institutions, and English was the medium of instruction. Primary education started at the age of 5 and lasted for 7 years, preparing pupils for the first school leaving certificate and common entrance examination into the secondary schools. In the French-speaking provinces, there was a shorter primary school course of 6 years leading to the Certificat Études Premières Élémentaires, CEPE, and the secondary school entrance examination. There were also both government and private agencies involved at this level, and French was the medium of instruction, with little or no English in the curriculum. Secondary education. In the English-speaking provinces, most secondary grammar schools offered a 2-cycle course of 5-year ordinary level leading to the General Certificate of Education in ordinary levels, and a further 2-year course leading to the GCE advanced level. It should be noted that the Cameroonization of the London GCE began with the 1997 June examination. The setting of exams was therefore done in Cameroon and sent back to London for moderation. To be eligible for second cycle in secondary schools, students have to pass in at least 4 papers. Most of the institutions were owned by nations and private individuals and were fee charging except government schools. Most of the schools owned by missions or private individuals received government subvention for teacher salary. Technical and vocational education. These institutions were run mostly by private agencies during the period 1972 to 1984. These colleges provided first cycle courses leading to the city and guides examination controlled from London and the Certificat d'Aptitude Professionnelle, CAP, a vocational proficiency certificate set in Cameroon. There were also some commercial colleges, predominantly controlled by lay private individuals, which offered both academic and business courses. Students of these colleges sat for the Royal Society of Arts stages 1, 2, and 3 examinations organized from London. At the post-primary level, between primary and secondary, there were institutions for craftsmen which were created for students which did not proceed with the former type of education. Teacher training. Teacher training colleges were established for provincial training, teaching and retraining and specialization of teachers. It was one center in the educational system that was largely supported provided for and dominated in every aspect by the state. Teacher training colleges in the English-speaking provinces offered courses for grade 1, 2, and 3 teachers. The conditions for entry into grade 3 courses were as follows: 3 years teaching experience and with a fresh school. To be eligible for grade 2 course, students were required to pass in at least 3 subjects in GCE ordinary level, but there was a special provision for grade 3 teachers. Candidates in grade 1 required a pass in at least 2 subjects in the GCE advanced level. Most of the secondary school teachers were trained at Higher Teacher Training College in Yaoundé and Bambili Annex. Primary and secondary school teachers in the French-speaking provinces were at the École Normale, which was established for professional teaching. The training of secondary school teachers took place at École Normale Supérieure, the Higher Teacher Training College, EUNICE. The first circle, which extended for 3 years, admitted holders of the baccalaureate, while the second circle admitted successfully candidates from the first circle and university graduates with little or no experiences. In effect, we can come to a conclusion that this is how education under the United Republic of Cameroon 1972-1984 looked like. Thank you.